I think one of the most challenging parts of my career was when I moved from industry, that's to say the Wellcome Foundation, to my first major academic appointment, which was the University of Bath. I moved in 1985, and I held the position of Professor of Pharmacology. I found I was used to a sort of scientific ethos where everyone exchanged ideas and and talked about science all the time, really, not only during work hours but also out of work hours, and we often socialised a lot. For example, in those days we knew each other very well, our families and so on, and this was, in my opinion, very, very important for the sort of creative process. When I moved to Bath, I was sort of looking forward to having something like this, except on a much grander scale, being able to interact with people from different disciplines, because Bath, of course, was a multidisciplinary university. But in fact, I found the reverse, actually. Hardly anyone in the senior common room wanted to talk about their work, their science, their students. And mostly the talk was about disputes over space and disputes over promotions. So I found this a bit uncongenial and actually a bit disappointing, and it was a major challenge to find other outlets for my desire to discuss science in depth with people. But one of the good things about Bath was the opportunity to interact directly with some really excellent physicians. You see, Bath has been a centre for the treatment of rheumatic diseases for centuries, and the Royal Mineral Water Hospital, which is where a lot of these physicians worked, was home to a number of really excellent physicians. And because I had an interest in inflammation and its control, we naturally worked together and published lots of papers where we worked on patients or samples from patients, and were able to try and translate some of our ideas into clinical observations. And I think this is very, very important if you can do it. Another thing which sprang almost directly out of this interaction with the clinicians was that I managed to start off a faculty of postgraduate medicine while I was at Bath, specifically to cater for the interactions between clinicians and scientists at the university, and between the scientists in the university and the clinicians in town. So these were very, very productive years for a variety of reasons, very, very synergistic interactions there. When I went to Bath, I was frankly a bit shocked that no one in the university hierarchy really asked me about how my research was going. I mean, obviously my close colleagues did, but what they did ask me a lot was how much money I'd managed to bring into the university. And I found this, it was really, to me, for somebody who's always regarded science as a vocation, extremely distressing. And it reminded me of Thomas Beecham once said, the British public don't like music, but they like the noise it makes. And I felt almost the same about the university's attitude to science. They didn't like the science, but they liked the money it brought in. And I found this extraordinary. And in fact, it's one of the reasons, in a way, why I was very happy to accept an invitation to go back to London in the end, to a community of people I knew who were very interested in science and very interested in talking about it and discussing it.